Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. Say go so, the remix.
DMB, Tuck Spice, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes, I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us on your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty, what's worth of a lady. It's nice, but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time with things to go off an eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so tough. I felt this sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, a killing thigh. I found me a beautiful girl.
Body me LP, my wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe, shaped like a cocoa bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk, she must be from a planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger, we look good together. Take your place in my heart with your beauty. I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
Such the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep tearing in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, killing thigh. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl, what beautiful girl, yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money, you seen her? Hot Ice, have you seen her? LP, have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMB, baby. Look.
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time, I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace several presents and gifts. Call me Santa. Claus, I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me Aston Kutcher, I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'm a go-getter. Since I'm a go-getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world. Anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh, it's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine, brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing time. I found a beautiful girl.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen of Prestige. This is Ola. I'm coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. Welcome to the show. Let me see what's going on in the chat. Oh, by the way, as you're coming in, do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe. Thank you so much. Do that for me. We've got some really cool things we are cooking for you here. So welcome. All right. This is, again, like I said, this is Ola over here. We talk about relationships. We talk about self-power, social, emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence mastery. We talk about seduction. We talk about attraction. So basically, this is not just about who's right or wrong. If you're looking for places where they will tell you who is right and wrong, there's more than enough channels on the internet. And if they think is right, I agree.
Oh, you're right.
If they think it's wrong, I also agree.
Oh, you're right.
But I'm guessing there's more to the story, and that's why we come here, to dissect it, to get to the bottom of things. So that's what we come here to talk about. If you want access, yes, I am a married man, been married for going on 16 years. My wife and I wrote this book right here, this book. You can download it absolutely for free by simply going to loveandprestige.com and download it from there. And you can also access my personal coaching services. You can join us for notification. You want me to personally notify you, you can join us basically at you can join us on WhatsApp using that link from your phone, or you can simply send a WhatsApp message to this number right here, and that works perfectly fine. But let me come to the chat. Pardon my manners, I beg, pardon my manners. Good to see you, Lady Navor. Okay, she was here much earlier. She says, evening, hola brother, chat. Make sure you hit that like button. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Gracious greatness, my guy. Good to see you. Man of prestigiousness. This is going to be very interesting. Yeah, because we're talking about, you know what time it is? We're talking about Bala Blue.
Different from Bala Blue. Blue. Bulaba.
Yes, that's our new president. Last time I checked, I've been talking to Auntie B for a few hours. So before I went online to talk to Auntie B, it was still the president, Well, we're talking about that today. Good to see you, Vonnie. Vonnie says, just watch you on Obodo Ibo TV. Great job. Thanks for stopping by. Good to see you. Rayman, shout out to Rayman. Good to see you, man. D-Love, my sister, my G. Thank you. We have Tima here. Let's see. Not today here. Not to talk before earlier. What happened now? You said they warned you. Something like that. Stella, good to see you, Stella. Coming from Obodo Ibo TV. Awesome. Obodo fam is here. Let's see who else. Good. Okay, we have Brother Patrick. Well done, sir. And Miss Downsey. Good to see you, Mrs. Downsey. looking in after our 3+ hour show. I know. But let's do this. Let's talk about this today. It's quite an interesting sight for me to behold over the past 5 years. Okay, I'm 43 years of age. I've never paid attention to Nigerian politics the way I've paid attention in the last 5 years, and I've learned a lot. And one of the biggest things that I learned, right, is that it's like no wonder why people continue to make the same mistake over and over and over again. And I promise you, it's not going to be what you think, okay? It's not what you think. I'm not talking about that type of mistake. I'm not saying it's a mistake to have voted for TINUBU. As a matter of fact, I did a video. Let me see if I can pull up that video. Maybe I'll play, I don't know, 30 seconds of it or something like that. Man of Prestige is on our secondary channel, I think. TINUBU prediction 8 months before it went down. I basically predicted that. Yep. Let me show you this. You can see this right here. It's on the secondary channel, Man of Prestige clips. I don't use it anymore, but the video is up there. Only has 54 views. Why? Because I wasn't predicting out of my ass. Right? But we have some people that predict out of there. You know what? Let me see. Can you guys see this really quickly? Yeah, this video right here. Let me show you. I wasn't predicting. I did an actual analysis. This video right here. Sat down, dressed up. This video right here. Sat down, dressed up, did an actual analysis 8 months before the whole thing went down, and predicted I was going to be TINUBU. But my prediction almost didn't come through because Peter Obi did extremely well. He did extremely well. He changed the story of that country forever. Okay? Politics in Nigeria will never be the same, essentially. Would never be the same. Where is this thing? Something I'm looking for. I can't find it. Okay. All right. Let me see here. Politics in Nigeria will never be the same, essentially. Okay. Which, strangely, I'm okay with that, because why should it be the same? The only thing that's constant in life is change, right? Yep, this video right here. Okay. So it's on there. If you type in Man of Prestige TINUBU prediction 2023, it comes up once you get a chance. But to me, it was just obvious that he was going to win, and it's not because his competence. I do think he's probably much more competent than the rest of them. Not competent to clean out corruption. That's not what I was talking about. I'm talking about politics. Okay, there's a difference between your ability to clean out corruption, which I don't think any one human being can do, right? Corruption is more or less a culture, okay, at this point in Nigeria. So it's going to take a little bit more than one person to clean that out. At least it's going to take a collaboration with the House of Assembly, at least, right? They have to kind of agree a lot, right, to do that, right? So yeah, I did that video back then. All right, but now we're back here today. He's been named. He's been sworn. He was sworn in earlier today. Before I woke up, he was the president of Nigeria. But there's this young man on the side here. I don't know if you can see a young man on the side here. Pardon me. Why did she share like this? I don't know if you see this young man on the side. Is he young? How old is this guy? His name is FEYI Daniels. FEYI Daniels. That's his name. So he did a video a little while back, all right? But I want to get into that video, okay? I want to get into that video. But before we get into that, let me do this. Let's pay a little bill. Let me grab a sip of water, and then we can get into this conversation, okay? I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. All right, so what I want to do about now, I want us to play this video. This video was released, I think it was January, somewhere around January 2023, a few weeks before they voted, and these are the reasons why Nigerians are still voting the way they vote, or they attempted to vote the same way they voted, but the numbers show that things are different, quite different, right? These are the reasons right here. I'm gonna play this video, okay? Sure, there you go, from this young man, but I don't want the background music. Before I do that, okay, today we're not gonna take long because I've been talking for a little bit longer than usual, okay, on Antibe's platform. Shout out to Deepo. But let's see, who else did I miss? Antibe is here. No, sorry. Patrick is here. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Okay, great. I have Luxury here. Shout out to Luxury. Luxury says, "Man of prestige, should I have a grudge towards my parent for voting for TINUBU?" No. My dad said he voted for him because of what he did in Lagos. That's a legitimate reason. That's his experience. That's the whole point of democracy, right? And how he developed Lagos where it is then before. That's how he feels. Nigerians have to get a little bit more comfortable with the idea of democracy, not the idea of a perfect democracy, the idea of democracy. Okay, that means your feelings will be hurt sometimes with the result you generate. Okay, it is what it is. It's just the reality of things. Okay, so no, I wouldn't say that. You don't need to worry about it. I would just pray for TINUBU, pray for Nigeria. God bless Nigeria, right? I think this guy used his prediction to grab a spot in the limelight. He preyed on people's sentiments, it seems. Yeah, that's kind of weird, but it's not the only one, to be fair to him. But let me just bring the video to the screen. We're talking about this young man. I'm going to play the video right now, and then we can talk about it after that. But the video went viral because there's a reason why it went viral. If the video was not connecting with people, it won't go viral. Okay, but let's go ahead and play the video, and then let's see what he says.
Many things I've said over the years, you begin to understand them by these things I say. About 2 years ago, you remember I told you that the second shall become the first. Do you remember? And by that I refer to the highest apex seat of power in Nigeria. And I didn't tell you that it's going to be 5 years time or in another government. I said in this government. That was all the Lord told me, and that was all I said. Today's date is what? Shout it. 19th of 2023. All right.
Okay, so this was 19th February 2023.
If you ask me a straight question on the road and just say, FEYI, who will be the next president of Nigeria after Buhari? My answer will shock you, but you will understand later. Because the ways of the prophet
story.
If you ask me on the road, just walking on the road, and you did not ask me to explain anything, I said, sir, after Buhari, who is the next president of Nigeria? Do you know the name? I'll tell you. Yemi Osinbajo. I told you, I said my words will shock you. I know you are confused already. Believe me, it's my office. I say it again. Hear me carefully. If you ask me on the street, except he, you know, there's always the will of man.
Except he.
But now,
capital
hear me
H.
carefully. Not the will of the people now. The will of the people has been sealed, as in looking into the sky. But if you ask me, I said after
except
he, who is the next president? Who will sit on the seat called the throne of Nigeria in Asorok? I will tell you the name is Yemi Osinbajo. Except when the man says no. But mark my word, he will be offered. The presidential election will be peaceful. Don't be afraid. There will not be killings. Go out and vote. However, so because there is no money to buy vote, he will lose in the polls. But already there is a partnership with a man in the system that will cause the vote to be rigged. So suddenly I saw the numbers dropping, and I saw INEC announcing BAT as the winner.
All right, there's always rigging in Nigeria election. But let's continue.
However, follow me. I even saw what he was wearing. He was announced winner, and we will see a video where we'll do like this. The video will trend.
Well, was that prediction as well? The video will trend. Well, kind of like the president of a country announced winner will trend regardless, but let's give it to him because it did trend. So that part of the prophecy came true. Okay, let's give that to him. Let's continue.
Because I've lived in a revolution is coming. A greater than NSAS is coming. People, the doors will be shut. You will not go to work. You will be in your houses. Future. Follow me. He will be declared winner on falsehood. The Lord, I saw Peter Obi crying. Red eye in tears.
Peter Obi did cry, right? It cried after the announcement when he was talking about there was a girl that came to one of his that came to the first press conference he did, and he shed tears, right? That part came true as well, right? Yeah. But I don't think that was the only time that Peter Obi cried. I think he might have shed tears or some other, but it came true. That's the bottom line.
It's proper tears. I saw Atiku like this. I told Atiku 4 years ago, I told this team 4 years ago that he will never become the president of Nigeria, and that's still within his stone. He will never. So there's nothing to bother. He should just go home and keep his money. But follow me carefully. A revolution is coming. A greater than NSAS is coming. People, the doors will be shut. You will not go to work. You will be in your houses. How will this revolution start? Hear me. How will the revolution start? Somehow the information will spill out that the election was rigged, and the youth will get to the street. It won't just be Lagos. It will be almost every state of Nigeria. The youth will get to the street and they will start the protests. These protests will lead to a revolution. Hear me? Peter Obi will go to court. He will go to court. And the day for swearing him, TINUBU, will come.
Oh yeah, by the way, that's today. Okay. What is he going to say? Let me see. Luxury says, but I don't think Nigeria needs to practice full democracy like the West or UK. There are things we can learn and unlearn from their democracy and learn more from countries like Singapore. Good point, but let's define full democracy, right? Democracy doesn't mean you carbon copy people's constitution into yours. If that's what you're saying, you're absolutely correct. They shouldn't, there are some things that are peculiar to how Nigeria operates that should. But again, like I said earlier, there's no such thing as, if you're thinking like it's just a perfect election, there was no rigging. I don't believe there's such a thing. It doesn't exist, okay? I think for as long as people have guidelines, there's always going to be cheaters, people that want to cheat on the guidelines. That's just how we operate as the human experience. It's just what it is, right? So, but the goal is to protect that as much as possible, to make the process as credible as possible. As credible as possible. Not 100% credible like some people fantasize about, but as credible as possible. But anyway, let's continue this. Baba is still, up to this point, his prophecy is on point, right? That day will come. The day did come. Let's see what happened today. There's a lot more than happened today than just the inauguration, but let's see.
I saw white, I saw green. About to.
Well, obviously there's going to be white and green, right? At a Nigerian new president inauguration, right? Or did he mean like what he's going to be wearing? Because he's wrong about that. His fila was white and green, Sha. Okay, let's give that to him too. Let's give that to him, okay?
Be sworn in that day, and everybody that I said is the next president will be rejoicing. We say, yes, I told you.
Told you so.
Prophet, I don't see far. Was I telling you? Didn't I tell you TINUBU is the next president?
I told you.
And while at that event, it looks like a very open ground, like a stadium-like center. I'm telling you what will happen. So, while at that event, military men will come in.
All right, so he got that part correctly too. They were military men. That's what TINUBU is wearing today. Okay, he's wearing a white agbada, but he has green, white, green in his filler. We can give that to him too, right? Right? But there's a military man behind him. But if you watch the show too, there were lots of military men there. So maybe maybe we can give that to him as well, right? Let me show you this one, right? This one. That's one military man following him. Let's see if there's more military men. Well, there's a bunch of DSS guys. All those guys in black suits and ties. These are majority of these guys are DSS officers. These are military men. You know. Oh, it's a lot of. I see a few more military men, right? Okay. Yeah, quite a few military men, right? All right. So, except one thing, I don't think they came to arrest TINUBU, but let's continue the show.
And they will arrest TINUBU.
It said they will arrest TINUBU. We'll see what TINUBU is doing in a second.
I'm playing the movie before you, Abi.
Movie, Hollywood movie. Yeah.
So that you will know that prophecy is not just calling people's name. Mark my words. I'm speaking from my office. I'm not speaking by a gift. He'll be arrested. And at that point, an interim government will rule Nigeria. The interim government that will rule Nigeria will not be military. It's not a coup. The military will partner with the interim government and they would ask who should be put on the throne. Buhari will say, I'm done. I'm for peace. And they will say, make Oshibajo. Now, for
all right. So now, Koyekimabe, it's too early. It's just today. It just happened today. Okay. He hasn't been arrested yet. Okay. There was an event where a young man rushed to the stage. In fact, let me see if I can find that. Let me see if I can find that video really quickly. And it almost seemed like this Baba's prediction, a prophecy was about to come through for a second. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me show you. I don't know if you can see this. Oh, can you see that? Okay, let me make it a little bigger. I'll make it a little bigger. So, because there was a man that ran to the stage. Moment unknown man approaches TINUBU during inauguration. And it was completely pushed to the... In fact, that guy must have broken his neck. The way they pushed him. But he was fine. Okay. Now, in terms of what is TINUBU doing right now as we speak, right? This is what's going on about an hour or 2 hours ago or so. This is what's going on.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. A round of applause for Mr. President.
Inaugural
A round of
ball.
applause for Mr. President. Kwam one takes the stage.
Gaining skills for a new career.
Wahala. Let me skip that. We'll come back
With
to
the
it.
Google Career Certificate. Get flexible online.
It is a
training for
movie,
in-demand
right?
jobs
An actual
and
movie is
achieve what matters
happening.
to you. It
But it's just
starts
not the
with a
movie
Google
that
Career
that young
Certificate.
man was.
GoDaddy is a
envisaging.
partner that always puts you first.
Wait 1 second.
Start today.
There's a movie going on. Let's see ahead. There you go. Shetima going to. Well, I don't know what Shetima is doing, but there you have it. They're dancing. But let's again, it's only less than 24 hours into the inauguration. It's not, we don't know. Maybe by the time we wake up tomorrow morning, they will arrest TINUBU. We don't know, right? Maybe, you know. Does say it's TINUBU. But let me get back to the actual video.
Year of previous relationship of Oshibajo with Bat, Oshibajo might say, I don't want. If he says so, they will look for another. That's the only condition. But what I saw was that Oshibajo accepted and he became a president. But that side has a question mark, a condition to it.
What's the condition, Baba? Tell us.
Are you loving the movie?
It's a movie. That movie is playing out as we speak right now.
Before the 29th, the swearing-in day, when Bat will be taken.
Oh wait, before 29th.
When Bat will be taken.
Wait, it's already not working though. He said before 29th. Today, well, it's right now. It's in a few hours. It will be the 30th in Nigeria. Luxury says this prophet isn't entirely wrong with his vision, but the problem I have with most prophets or prophetess is that their prophecy is game of chess, and if they are right, they use that to brainwash people. Yeah, it's a 50-50, right? But this one told a long story. There's a lot of things here that's already wrong with. But you know, I was marking the register to a certain level, but now he said before the 29th. I'm nitpicking, I agree. I am nitpicking small, okay? But you know, after all, it's a game of chess, Abby. We can play the game too, maybe worse than him, right? But here we are.
I saw Peter will be arrested and detained by DSS after the election.
Well, at what point? Maybe it was detained at the gate into London, right? Peter Obi, like there was a news some few weeks ago where he was detained while he was entering London by immigration, something like that, right? So that's close enough, right? You know, prophecy is usually like kind of blurry. It's never really clear, right? So maybe that's what. And that was before the 29th.
Because he's coming to play the role of somewhat like a Messiah, but not the way you define Messiah. And the way Messiah suffers, he must suffer.
Messiah must suffer.
You'll be arrested and detained.
That's a good point.
Moment that is done.
That's a good point.
Please stay in your houses. The moment that is done.
All right, so this is part of the problems. When you continue to encourage people to stay in their houses, with regards to literally things that's literally affecting their lives, you are encouraging them or you are fear mongering them to stay in their house. That's part of the problems. But let's continue. People will have to eat anyway, so they won't stay in their house. So that's not really a big deal. It's just part of the blurry part of the prophecy. Let's continue.
The revolution and the riots will increase.
Sure.
There will be killings.
There will be killings.
There will be destruction of properties.
There's killings every day in Nigeria. Let's be honest with ourselves. So it's not wrong about that part too, right? So there's killings every day in Nigeria. Nigeria beats about even Yankee, okay? But especially in Nigeria, undocumented killings, right? Deletions, I should say. So it's not wrong yet.
As the days to the election comes by, you will see more PDP governors joining Peter Obi. They might not declare publicly, but they will give him all the support that he needs.
Batch by batch.
In the election, number one, in numbers of votes will be Obi. Number two will be Bat. Number three will be Atiku. However, like I told you, it will be rigged, and you hear number one is Bat, number two is Obi, number three is Atiku. I saw United Nations intervening. After TINUBU is taken away,
Sure they
I
did.
think released for a while, it will also go to court.
I mean, they've been going back and forth from court now for how many weeks, right? So they're all in court. It's not wrong yet. We can't just call him wrong now. After all, it's not supposed to be exact. Should you expect it to be perfect? No, of course it's never perfect, right? It's not. Okay, maybe it's more wrong because the 29 before 2019. Anyway, I don't know. You guys are probably getting the details more than I am, okay? I'm just saying. It's not all the way wrong yet.
The interim government will not be long. No. The interim government will not be long, and after a while, the court will declare Obi as winner of the election.
Listen, that's still possible, right? You know, I was listening to Dr. Damage's show earlier. Somebody called somebody delusional. Everybody went bad. Like, why are you calling us delusional? Why are you calling us delusional all over the place like this? Right? Everybody was getting angry because somebody called somebody delusional. No, we won't call people delusional. That's not cool. That's disrespectful, right? But sometimes we believe in things that's not necessarily reality because it feels good. And no one can shame anybody for that, okay? Like I said, it feels good to be hopeful. Not only does it feel good to be hopeful, it's literally a possibility, okay? It's possibility, okay? How likely is it? Okay.
Then I saw Peter Obi in Aso Rock. I saw him giving speech as a president of Nigeria.
He said he saw him. Is it your saw? It's not your saw. Don't shame this man. Wait, hold on. Oh. Auntie B. Ola, I just came to give you your flowers for putting Dikwa in his place. It's past midnight here and I'm going to bed. Oh, Auntie B, thank you so much. 50 pounds, not long. Thank you so much. You didn't have to, but I appreciate it heavily. You know what time it is, right? Auntie B, get to lock. Anisuru. For this Mumu prophet, oh God, may God help us. But these are the problems in Nigeria. These are actually major problems. The people that are affecting the average man's mindset are the biggest problems. Okay, TINUBU is one of us, a product of Nigerian society. It is what it is. Buhari, Baba Bubu, is a product of, no matter how much we tried our best to shame TINUBU, to not winning, drug dealing, battle.
Different from battle blue.
We chose what we chose. We selected. Maybe we should call it selected, right? Selected a president after the fact. It is what it is, right? It's a product of the state of the Nigerian average mind. That's the way it works. God is not going to intervene in that. Like, who are we deceiving? God cannot be mocked, right? But let's continue. I'm not saying it's wrong yet, though. It's not wrong yet. Let's continue.
But not midway tonight.
Wait, he's on. Let's look at his last statement.
I saw Peter Obi in Aso Rock. I saw him giving speech as a president of Nigeria, but not May 29th.
Not May 29th. As a matter of fact, he's actually wrong on this part. It can be May 29th 4 years from now when he runs again and win. It could be May 29th 8 years from now. I guarantee you somebody is just going to pull up this video like, wait, yeah, he said it. He was right. Congratulations. Here's the problem with that, Sha. Time is nobody's mate. Okay, how old are you going to be 4 years from now? Right? How old are you going to be 8 years from now? You're going to maintain that same mindset for an additional 8 years, right? Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot going on there. But this young man right here, let's see what's up with him these days. What is he up to these days? Today will be a good day for him to come out and say, I'm not wrong yet. I am not wrong yet. What is going on with this young man today? Let's call him young, you know. FEYI Daniels, Bishop FEYI Daniels is his name. Thus saith TINUBU. Let's find out what's going on with him today. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually literally just going to go to Google right in front of you. And let's type in Bishop FEYI Daniels. There you go. Oh, you could tell I've been to that page already, right? But let me leave that page alone. Okay, I'm going to open in another tab. I'm going to go to news. All right. Oh, that came up first too. So I'm not going to go to this one that I've been to. I have an idea of what I'm looking for, right? But let's look at this headline. How Bishop FEYI Daniels gripped me twice. Assistant pastor said that? I'm confused. Wait. Another headline says grape accusations. Alleged survivor testify in Bishop FEYI Daniels trial. Listen, it's not relevant. Allah, it's not relevant. Why are you bringing this into his prophecy? God can prophesy through a donkey, Abi. No, I want to see. I want to see. And I'm not laughing at his situation. But again, I just want you to have an idea of the kind of people that are influencing our minds. Okay? I think it's very important. Okay? Let me go ahead and look at this one. Let me see which one is the most recent. This one was 4 days ago, 3 days ago, 3 weeks ago, 3 days ago. I'm going to look at the most recent one. Okay, this was 1 month ago. Let's look at the 3 days ago one. People's Gazette. I don't trust that link. Let's see. Okay, let's look at this 3 days ago one right here. There you go. Share this. Cancel. All right. Alleged survivors testify in Bishop FEYI's. Let's look at this story. The ongoing alleged assault trial against Bishop Oluwafeyiropo Daniels, the founder and senior pastor of Irene Christian Family Church, continued with 2 other witnesses. Let me blow that up. Crazy. Two other witnesses who were also former members of the ministry. A former member of the church, while giving her evidence before Justice Raman Oshodi of the I'm looking at tvnews.tv, by the way, of the Offenses and Domestic Violence Court, has narrated how Sexual Offenses and Domestic Violence Court has narrated how her spiritual father had attempted severally to have his way with her. The 22-year-old said that the first time she met the defendant was in October 2019 when he came to one of his spiritual son's house in Apapa, Lagos, where the ministry was going to start a cell meeting and she was to lead praise and worship session. She said, Brother God's will wanted me to lead them in praise and worship, but I arrived late. When I got to the meeting, I noticed that FEYI Daniels was staring at me from the beginning of the session till the end. After the meeting, people were taking pictures, so I joined them. and FEYI and I got into a conversation. He asked me, Bishop FEYI got into a conversation with her. He asked me what I was doing at that time, and I told him nothing. He also asked about my family. FEYI said he would pray for me and I would get a job. Then he asked how much I had in my account. I told him that I didn't have up to 5,000 naira in my account. He told me to come with any amount I have to the island branch the next Sunday. Okay. On Sunday, I took the 3K I had to church and gave it to him after service. He prayed for me and told me he wanted me to join the choir. I'll be singing up. The next Sunday morning, he chatted me to ask about my school. At that time, I was in my mom's church. He said, let me make sure. Hold on one second. I'll read it to you guys just to make sure that. Okay, I'm just reading it to you so you can listen. Okay, so hold on one second. Let's see. What do we have? Okay, there you go. So after the survey, we started talking about my family, and he got to know that I was not in good terms with my parents, and they never wanted me to be with them. Now, to be clear, I don't think there is much correlation between what we're reading right now and the false prophecy around the inauguration, to be honest with you. But I think it's important as well, right? Because again, if you notice here, this person, when they're looking for victims, they do find a way to, they have a type of persons they are looking for. They also have a type of persons that tend to be attracted to this type of people. Okay, unfortunately in Nigeria, there's a lot more and more people because of the state of things, right? So you will see that this kind of situation is a lot more common in societies around Nigeria than developed countries, obviously, for obvious reasons, right? It's not like they don't exist they exist everywhere, but even more so in places obviously where these things are not documented. No one is protecting these people, right? So I continue to read. When the mainland church was open, I wasn't frequent in the service because of my parents. I told him about it, but he wanted me on ground because I sing. During COVID period, he asked me to come to his house in Lekki so we could talk about the treatment my parents were giving me. They didn't give me the freedom to worship where I wanted to be. FEYI Daniels and I concluded that, hold on one second. All right, sorry about that. My dad kept calling. Okay, so FEYI Daniels and I concluded I was going to leave my parents' house and I would stay in church. I mean, we're just reading one side of the story, right? He said I should not tell anyone, and he also told Peace, his keyboard, who was also living in the church, not to let anyone know I was there. My dad kept calling, my brothers texting, but I never spoke with any one of them for a week. So this chick ran away from home. She's 22 though, but she still ran away from home, right? Because even if you go and move by yourself, right, you can tell your parents that this is where I live now, I'm in school and whatever, right? But she's not telling her parents where she's at. Nothing good can come out of that. I always frown at the idea of eloping. Even as a grown man, it's a bad idea to elope. What is it that you're hiding from your family? It's a bad idea, you know. It's something that you don't feel safe and secure with, and it needs to be addressed, and you're actively pushing it under the rug. When it comes back and bites you in the butt, yep, it's not going to be good. My younger sister called and informed me that my dad was going to declare me missing to the police. I agreed to speak with my dad. FEYI said I should tell him that I was working in Ibadan, and that is where I like to stay. My sister called again and told me that my dad had gone to look for me at the church. I told Bishop and he said I should report at Area F. I reported to the woman I met there and explained that I didn't want to stay with my parents anymore. She spoke with my father and I told him where I was. I never granted my father access until the day I went home 3 months after. The witness further explained to the court that in November 2020, when the church was supposed to have a second year anniversary for the mainland branch, she had spent 2 nights at the defendant's house prior to that time. In early June 2020, he sent Bro Kenny to ask me to bring his laptop to his house in Lekki. He went to get fuel and asked me to cook for us. While I was cooking, he told me Pastor David and his wife are coming to the house. During my stay, I noticed the couple started monitoring me, especially when I'm with the bishop. On the day I was supposed to leave, Joan came. She escorted me with my bag and she kept on looking at me suspiciously. That was the first time I would meet her. In November 2020, FEYI was in the church. Bishop FEYI was in the church in preparation for a program. While he was staying at the church, he started using my Facebook account to chat with Joan because I got to know about a grape case. I was seeing stuff online, but he told me that some of the ladies are angry because he didn't stick to one of them. He said one of them wanted her to herself. So, is this guy not married? The whole bishop not married? Is there not a place in the Bible, in the scriptures, that says bishops must have to be married? I'm not really a good Bible scholar, so I think there's a place in the Bible that requires bishops have to be married, right? While blasting these people on Facebook, so he was using her name to blast some people on Facebook. While blasting these people on Facebook, I started doing the same. His wife got to know. Oh, his wife, he has a wife. Got to know that I spent some days in his house, and she was angry because she knows. They usually know. One day, FEYI called me into his office and asked me to look for his pillow. Prior to that time, I noticed that he gave me money to make my hair. Now, at this point, according to this story, she's still naive. She has no ulterior motives. That's what the story looks like, right? So when I was looking for the pillow, he locked his office door, grabbed me and tried to kiss me. His eyes were red and he was very angry. He told me that people he sleeps with does not get money from him the way I do. It's time to pay up. After the COVID pandemic, when church started, Prophet Adeoye came to the church to address the workers on a Saturday. He said, whatever happens is not enough to turn your back against your father. This is what manipulation looks like, just in case you're wondering. Bishop FEYI later apologized and asked for forgiveness. In January 2021, he started giving me some teachings concerning working on my conscience. He said he wanted to teach me on how to be able to lead praise and worship after having sex with a man. Why? Why? Jesus Christ. On 4th of April 2021, after Sunday service, he called me to his office. He said the reason why he slept with his junior pastor is about happening again. Okay, we didn't cover that part yet. I think I saw a headline to that effect. Okay. He also said he has told Prophet Adeoye about it and that he should sleep with me afterwards. I should pray for him and he wouldn't see those pictures anymore. On Friday of that week, he came to the church because he was going to leave for Ghana the next day. Around 2 a.m., Sister Faith came to wake me up that Papa was calling me. Papa. He asked what my decision was on our previous discussion. I told him I couldn't do it. He was very furious. And then he showed me a text on his phone which reads, ask her to do it, she would do it. I sensed that he was the sender and he was disappointed. He was the sender to himself. He told me that it was because I held my body in high esteem and whatever I hold so dear, I should be able to give my spiritual father. Now sacrifice. Hey, wahala. He said I was never going to be successful because I didn't give in to him. After a while, Bishop FEYI sent me a message saying he saw me in an accident because of dishonor. Are we seeing patterns? Do we see patterns? The next day he called me that that every morning. He called me that every morning I should be sending him a message saying, I will do what you want me to do. I'll be what you want me to be. I am yours. Conditioning. Anytime I don't send the message, I will have to transcribe one of his messages. Honor and the ego of rebellion. Jezebel. I transcribed that message about 10 times because of my refusal. In May 2021, Bishop FEYI came to church. I was preparing to jam at that time. He called me into his office and started manipulating me. He just started manipulating you, really. He started breaking down the messages and told me that I am his. He grabbed me between his legs, forcefully took off my shirt, and he said, the bra I'm wearing, who bought it for me? Jump question. He grabbed me closely and started sucking my breasts. I was struggling because he slapped me. I told Sister Faith and she explained that he has also tried to manipulate her. On Sunday, which was his birthday, he sent someone to call me and he started apologizing. Hebere. In 2022, we went for a training in Ogun State. On the last day of the training, he called me to his office to go naked. I started crying. This is all alleged, okay? This is allegations. It's on tvnews.tv. TV News is reputable. He said he would give me the kind of slap his spiritual father gave to him. He tried to have his way with me and started choking me and held my leg. This is all a quote, okay? I'm just quoting from right up here. Afterward, there was a knock on the door and he quickly locked in his bathroom. When he finished with the person, I was already dressed and he was crying. He told me I was wicked after everything he had done for me. I told my mentor everything that had happened and I left the church after I got back from Kogi because he had told me that if I didn't give it to him freely, there will be bruises. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. It's threats. After her examination in chief, the defense counsel requested for a date to cross-examine the witness. Justice Oshodi adjourned the matter to June 15th, 16th for continuation. Earlier, a 25-year-old woman named Withheld told the court how a Bishop Daniels allegedly impregnated and spoke in tongues while raping her. The defendant is standing trial on an amended. So this is a case in court right now. Just so you know, it's a case in court right now. The defendant is standing trial on an amended 3 counts charge bordering on rape and sexual access, to which he pleaded not guilty to. The witness who told the court she no longer attended any church was a former member of Oluwafi Europe's church. She was led in evidence by the state lead counsel, Babajide Boye. According to alleged survivor, she was in her sister's shop in Oshogbo on January 2, 2019 when her cousin was listening to the bishop's sermon on the phone. She said, so I told my cousins the sermon was nice. Especially when there's background music everywhere. Of course the sermon is nice, right? It's background music. The music is so loud that you can barely hear what he's saying.
A revolution is coming. A greater than NSAS is coming.
It feels like you're in heaven already.
People, the doors will be shut. You will not go to work.
Feels like you're in heaven already, right?
Be in your houses.
That's the defendant right there. That's him right there. Let's see. After that, I was able to chat with FEYI on Facebook. Let me see. I think somebody just came in the studio. Angela is here. Angela, I see you. I'll come right to you. Let me get through this. After that, I was able to chat with FEYI on Facebook, and he added me to a WhatsApp group called Spiritual Sponsorship Group. This is the beginning story. They went back to the beginning, right? Because she was listening to a cousin was listening to him on the phone. So they joined a WhatsApp group called the Spiritual Sponsorship Group. The first time I met him in person was at Redeemed Camp in 2019, where we had a 3-day retreat, and he later had a program at OAU, which I attended and met Brother Isaac, one of his spiritual sons, whom he exchanged numbers. From the sonship group. Okay, wait. I'm going back. Let me go back a little bit. According to the alleged survivor, she was in her sister's shop. Okay, she said, so I told my cousin the sermon was nice and told me the name of the group. After that, I was able to chat with, okay. All right, so from the sonship group, I took an assistant pastor, first prosecution witness, names withheld, to be my prayer partner because irrespective of our gender, we call ourselves sons. This is a man now, okay? On the WhatsApp group, he dropped a message that all sons should pick a convenient time to fast for 70 days. Pray for 2 hours and break 6 p.m. daily, and we should come down to Lagos for laying of hands after the fasting. The witness told the court that the defendant told her to come to Lagos for the laying of hands after she was done with her. You know, we're supposed to be talking about the inauguration of TINUBU and all this, but you see in the corner that clearly, you know, there's a reason why I wanted to talk about this, right? It's a reason why I wanted to talk about it. Very, very important. Let me get through this. I have some people in the studio. On September 8, 2019, I told PW1 I was going to Lagos for the laying of hands for the program started late and there was nowhere to sleep because I had no one I could stay with in Lagos. PW1 told me to call Bishop FEYI. Okay, remember PW stands for prosecution witness. That's an assistant pastor. Okay, so this is a witness now in the case. Okay, and this person is from the sonship group. I took an assistant pastor to be my prayer partner. We call ourselves sons. Okay. It's weird. It's a lot of weird stuff going on here. Richard took me to a room. Okay, no, I called Bishop FEYI that I had no one to stay with for the night, and he said no problems, which made me follow him to his house with other members who were Bro Israel and his wife. But they later left the house that same day. Rachel took me to a room where I got to the house. The following morning, Bishop FEYI came out of his room and laid his hands on my head and started praying for me at the dining section after I had greeted him. I went inside the room to start preparing for Oshogbo, and he told me there was food in the kitchen that I should help myself. I was eating at the dining when he came to meet me again and said, "Are you on your period?" Okay, this is a woman. I said no, and he went back to his room. I did not see Rachel in the room, even though we slept together in the same room, she said. The alleged survivor further told the court that, why are they calling themselves sons? This is weird. Anyway, told the court that the defendant came to meet her, that he had an instruction for her, and that he wanted her to hear it by herself. She said, there are 2 portraits of one Prophet Babajide David Olulano in Bishop FEYI's living room, whom he told me was his spiritual father. Bishop FEYI told me to carry one of his portraits and stare at it so that I can hear the instruction myself, which I did. What instruction? After a while, he came out of his room again and asked me if I heard anything. I told him no. He then said that the portrait was talking to me, but I cannot receive it. Okay, all right. All right. Jesus Christ. All right, let me see how long more we got. It's a long story. All right, let me get to it. It's almost done. He said that his father will use another means to speak with me, and left to his room again. I got a text message on my phone with the sender showing Babajide. I could not call see how much work somebody has to put in just to get some kwekus. This is so sad. I could not call the number back, but the message read, whatever your father asks you to do it. It is for your own good. Then he came out and asked if I had received any sign. and I told him I got a message. He said I should delete the message. Bishop FEYI told me while I was born, my aunt did something to me which prevented my progress in life. Of course, there's always a family member who does something to you which prevented your progress, right? He said the instruction he received was for him to help me so that I can be free from my aunt. He said there are times he receives very difficult instructions, but he has to do it. I asked what the instruction was. Obedient. Be obedient. When they hung on to this obedience thing, at some point I'm like, Baba, I know I'm supposed to be obedient to my elders and to the authorities, but it seems, Baba, this obedient thing, I'm not talking about Peter Obi, this obedient thing, or all I know is manipulation. Okay, that's how they control you. I was confused at this point. His eyes already changed and he told me to go to his room. I asked what the instruction was and he said the instruction was for him to have sex with me. When I got there, the two portraits of Prophet Babajide was on the bed. He was playing a Christian song titled "Let Praises Rise" on his phone. He pushed me on the bed. I tried to shift away, but he pulled me back as I was already naked. While FEYI was speaking in tongue and I was saying amen, he was having sex with me. I don't want to say, come on, I'll cut the video. He was having sex with her. The witness further told the court. This is the witness. This is transcribed from the court. Okay, so it's all alleged. I wasn't in the court. The witness further told the court that the defendant threatened her. She will buy soon. She will buy if she told anyone. She will be deleted if she told anyone. She further told the court she went back to Oshogbo where he met one Jide who wanted to have a relationship with her and also rented a 100,000 naira apartment for her. Out of excitement that the instruction FEYI talked about has started manifesting. The instruction, she followed the instruction, right? I called him, Bishop FEYI, and told him about Jide. He told me to come to Lagos, and when I arrived, he collected my phone and started chatting with Jide using words like dear for him and told him to send the 100,000 naira to my account. Jide sent the money, but FEYI told me to forward the money to his account thereafter. Tight in here. Tight. Hey, Jesus. Jide sent the money, but FEYI told me to forward the money to his account thereafter. Then he told me he had an instruction that he should have sex with me. This time around, he did not play any Christian song. How did you do it? He's probably about to play Boys to Men. Jesus Christ. Scary. He put a portrait on Prophet Babajide. Gentlemen, your daughters, okay? Think straight. Stay with me, okay? Stay with me. Really, all you can do about this right now is, hey, engage good parenting skills. Pray for your kids, your daughters, right? Learn how to parent like you live in 2023. Don't be a mad person and be trying to use 1955 methods, okay? Because if you can't give them self-respect, if you can't help them nurture self-worth, self-esteem, the chances that we end up in this situation is it gets higher, just like that. There's enough predators out there. By the way, you're young men too. There are predators everywhere. I don't know if you know. We live in a vicious world, right? I don't know if you know, right? But again, when the best gift you can give your kids is the ability to be able to have self-love, self-respect, self-worth. Okay? That's the best gift you can give them. If they can't get it from home, they're going to be looking for it because we all have a need for connection and significance, right? We do, right? It's part of our 6 basic needs. Let me continue. Anytime FEYI wants to have sex with me, he sends Rachel out. Yeah, come on, be going. He then told me I should not go back to Oshogbo, that he's now releasing me because he already collected the money from the other young man. I did not tell anyone about the escapades because I did not want to buy. The witness further told the court that he was able to leave the defendant's house, leaving her clothes behind after she told Rachel that her mother was sick and she needed to see her. She also said that she chatted with Brother Isaac and informed himself that she was not happy with her life, and Isaac in return told her to speak with Pastor Busayo. When I got to Bra Busayo place in Ilorin, he told me the reason he left the church was because he found out that the ladies were not always happy after church program. So we reported the case at the police station in Ilorin. The policeman came from Ilorin to arrest Bishop FEYI in Lagos. At this time, I started feeling strange in my body and I did pregnancy tests which confirmed I was pregnant. But I lost the pregnancy in an accident that occurred, the one on my trip from Ilorin to Ibadan. Bishop FEYI was initially remanded in Ilorin and then police began the investigation, but he was later released and got back to Lagos to report me and Pastor Busayo. So he was already arrested in Ilorin first. He was released. The first prosecution witness, another PW, had also on the same one, had told court under cross-examination by the defense counsel Adebayo Adegbite that the defendant never made a pass at her prior to the alleged encounter, so never toasted her. They don't toast bitwao. These are sick people, right? The first witness also said that she was a law student at Adekunle Ajashin University in Akungba Akoko, and that she did not report the case to the police immediately she left the defendant's house. She added she was under her parents' care but living in school at the time of the alleged accident. All right, so let me come to the... That's a lot. That was a lot. Hello, ladies. Juliet, Tima, can you hear me?
Yes, hello.
How you doing, Angel? This is Juliet, right?
Yes, from Las Vegas.
Hey,
Yes,
how you
hello.
doing?
I'm good.
Good evening. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah. Were you on ATB show earlier?
Funny enough, I'm always missing on these shows because I'm in Las Vegas, because I do listen to that, even your show. So I'm like, I was doing my homework. I'm like, oh God, you're online. Let me hop in. So I was listening attentively. I am so angry, sad. Gosh. We all still need to talk to, like I have 4 boys. I still have to talk to them. We all still have to talk to our kids. I don't know why our pastors are doing this. Is this psychology, or are they using reverse psychology on our girls? Or is it based on our way of living or the way we grew up in Nigeria? I just don't know why. It's so paramount of all this. We're in the 21st century and we're still getting all this. Or is it because we made our pastors to be like gods? I don't know. It's so sad.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's a lot going on there. I can't claim that I know too, but the one thing I know is that if you have a society where people are too dependent on the powers that be, either in the form of religion or political in nature, there's more bad behaviors that will come that will transpire because people are literally jobless. If you go to Nigeria right now, literally every corner has a church and multiple churches.
Yeah.
So these are people that, for the most part, clearly don't have other professions going on, or some of them actually have professions going on. I mean, did you know that even TINUBU's wife is a pastor?
I just learned that 2 days ago. That was why Adeboye went to greet TINUBU when he, Yeah.
She is a pastor. So that's how they're dishing away pastor, the title, the pastor. Some of them will leave a church and go and start another one, return themselves to bishops, right? But, people with bad behavior, they will grow more wings when you have a society that's not economically sound. When people have to survive on every last, they'll do anything. The other day they were covering the story of a pastor who literally kidnapped himself to finesse his own church.
They need to regularize all this. They need to.
Yeah. So, shout out to you, Fashionable Geeks. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate that. You know what time it is? Let's dance a little bit. Thank you so much. But let me. Oh wait, she left. Oh, Angela left, I guess. Tim, are you there?
Yeah, so I'm here. How are you doing, Ola?
Adele, how you doing?
I'm good. I hope my audio is clear because I can hear myself in the background.
Oh, I can hear you perfectly.
So, I'm not really familiar with this story, but I want to ask: the same pastor that was giving this prophecy that you are talking about with this story, allegedly?
Yes, that's what led us. That's what led us here. This guy right here. It's the same guy.
So the trouble I'm having with the pastor is this, and I think
there's a pattern, the prophecies, right?
Right. Like, so because we tell people like everybody, we all have spirits in us, right? That like if you listen and you are quiet and you are still, and it took me this long to actually realize it, but once you realize it, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. So the amount of information that is putting out at one time. So my question was, are you getting this all at once, or are you getting?
He was receiving it all at once. It was a whole night of movie.
Because I'm saying, like, Sarah, right now, I'll be script on this and submit it on Netflix. I promise him he will make money for real.
Wait, till your audio is acting up, oh.
Oh, it's acting up. Okay.
Yeah, it's acting up. I hear like a loud noise in the background. Hold on. While you fix that, let me play the dance for Olaido. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. I think it's your first time here too. I saw your comments a little bit earlier. I was going to go back to some of your comments and some of Luxury's comments too. But thank you so much for your donation. I appreciate that. Voila. But for all of you that are brand new here today, this is for you. Thank you for coming by. Yes. All right, so you were saying something, Tima. Is it better? Let's see.
I hope so.
It's better.
So I'm saying that you might pick up again because the noise is kind of moving back and forth.
Yeah,
but I was saying that I don't understand, like if people do pay attention, and I know when you are listening to man of God, it's different from when you are listening to other people because there's you almost feel like there's a spirit that's coming out of them that is specifically just for you. If you don't really pay attention to what they are saying. And people go to church. I'm not a Christian, but I like to think like people go to church to, find God within themselves. Again through this man, right? And all the story that he's making, I wonder if the church member do know that is other things that these people are alleging.
The audio is cutting now. The audio is cutting. Hey, Juliet, are you there? You can unmute.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, how you doing? You are Olaido. Did I pronounce that properly?
Olaido.
Olaido. Okay, I was trying to hug up your name since I'm Ola. But thanks for coming. Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, is it your first time here?
Yeah, but I always watch that.
Okay, you always watch. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But this is my first time logging in.
Good.
Live.
Good, thank you. So what's your take on what we're covering today, all the way from TINUBU to the prophecy to, there's so much more we're uncovering here.
My take on that is sometimes prophecy, one thing about prophecy, from where we come from, just like when people sometimes go to church, they don't want to kind of listen to the word, they just want to listen to the prophecy, whether good or bad, And sometimes, remember there was a pastor that was killed about a few days ago. He went to a native doctor to get more power.
I think I might have seen something like that. I'm not sure. I think so.
The native doctor killed him. So because he wanted to have more power. So some pastors were giving us that TINUBU is not going to get it, that TINUBU is going to get it. So the thing I see in it is people should desist from prophecy and do what they ought to have done.
Right.
If it comes, it comes. Just like you cannot be working. How can you say you have money in your bank account, whereas you're not working?
Yeah.
It's just like in Nigeria, the reason why most Nigerians believe in prophecy is like the government will make them not to have light, so that you believe that when we're not having light, it is a sin, and when they give them prophecy, you must have light. In the next 24 hours, light will come, blah, 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 blah. That is where they are prophesying. But in this other part of the world, it's because it has to do with discipline. You work your butt off, you pay, and you see what you're working for, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you can repeat the process.
Yeah.
So you can actually do it over and over again, predictably.
Yeah. Like we just send money to some people back home. So the lady is like, thank you. I said, no, don't tell me Nigeria is bad. We too here, things are bad, but just that we're working our butt off. If I go do grocery for a family of 6, the other day I was screaming, I'm like, excuse me, man, please, can you reshuffle that? When you buy something for about, they'll tell you $300. But it's the same thing. Inflation is everywhere, but you have to work your butt off. You cannot sit home and expect manners to fall from heaven. You cannot be preaching to somebody that is not saying, check your bank account, you'll see money. Oh boy, that will not be prophet, I beg.
Yeah, it's a waste.
Yes, they should stop deceiving people about fake prophecies. That's one thing I don't buy.
Well, the only thing we can do about this, thank you so much for coming up to speak your mind. I appreciate you, right?
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yep. The only thing we can do about this kind of case is continue to educate people, from a place of value, okay? Meaning educating people when they don't really subscribe to the same value you subscribe to is a waste of time. They won't listen. That's why if people are dealing with hunger or their last penny to survive, it's a little bit hard. They will just tell you you're speaking from a place of privilege. They can't comprehend what you're saying, So that's the issue. The only thing we can do is continue to educate them. Predators, he's facing a court case right now. For as long as the more developed a nation is, the higher the chances people will face consequences with the authorities, right? If the environment is a big deal, because at the end of the day, people must survive. In fact, this man may even claim, because if you see some part of the story, he actually took the 100,000 naira that the young girl just got from a guy that was promising. He took that money from her, So it may be a lot of this boy, what we call a lebi, they are hungry, so they don't even know how to handle simple superstardom. It's like Ojo Rolari is like, I'm looking for the English for it, right? So the truth always comes out. What thing about money that we keep saying is that money will magnify who you already are. But when there's consequences, certain people will go into their corner and behave because they know there's consequences for obvious reasons. They don't want to face that consequence, But yeah, let me bring Raymond. So Raymond, before I unmute you again, you're gonna have to turn off the TV in the background and listen to the one on your phone. Because they will be feeding back. Okay, listen to the one on the phone. Turn off the TV in the background. Turn it all. It has to be dead, because if it feels the same frequency, it will feedback. Let me try again. Yeah, I'm still hearing myself. I'll try again in 5 minutes if you're still here. Okay, but we need to make sure we maintain our good audio experience for everyone. But yes, Juliet, anything else you wanted to say? Give me your last word. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm here. Just thank you for all you do. Thank you for your live show and encouragement. I'm enjoying it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, we'll talk soon. All right. Bye. All right. Let me try. Yeah, I'm hearing myself in the background, Baba. So we can't. Oh, Baba, I don't know if he says Rayman. I'm not sure he said Baba or Mama. But fashionable geeks, £50. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Oh, let's do it again. All right. So what I want to do now is, since we're talking about Tinubu, I thought I should. He had a speech earlier today, and the speech was, was just same old, repeating all the promises. But you know how it goes. They're gonna promise a lot. I'm very hopeful that this is gonna be a change, for Nigeria in general. I'm very hopeful, not because of Tinubu in particular, partly because of him, but also because it's just long overdue, right? And I don't think anything remains the same forever. I just don't think that, case in point, even the numbers with regards to the result of the election, right? It's obvious that Nigeria is having a new day, it was a peaceful transition, obviously, So there's some highlights that I brought up from his speech that I thought I should talk about, and just had my own what I think. Do I believe it, right? Do I believe it? Do I not believe it? I just want to add that onto it. The first thing that highlights that I brought up from his was the phasing out of the fuel subsidy. Okay, phasing out of fuel subsidy. A lot of people are carrying it around like he's phasing it out. No, he's already phased out. He's saying it's never coming back. That's what he said. Okay. He's saying it's never coming back. And there's a quote here. It says, Tinubu commends the decision to phase out the petrol subsidy regime, which he believes has increasingly favored the rich over the poor. Okay. He plans to rechannel the funds into better investments in public infrastructure, education, healthcare, and job creation, and to materially improve the lives of millions. Okay, cool. Another promise, right? The second one here is something they call the budgetary reform for economy stimulus. This is the part that I'm trusting Tinubu on, to be frank with you. Okay, not trust, but I'm hoping. Okay, I'm hoping that there should be some initiatives that can help with regards to economy. Economy is not that deep. It's just a matter of vested interest. Are there enough people willing to do the right thing? No, forget the right thing, okay? I'm sorry, okay? Are there enough people willing to do some more homework around how to reform economy in Nigeria? There's resources, there's human resources, there's demand, there is more than enough supply. It's a matter of restructuring. And this quote around this says, he announces the implementation of budgetary reforms that will stimulate the economy without causing inflation. Okay, so that's a big deal. Inflation is affecting all of us around the world, okay, but it affects Nigeria even more because Nigeria is not selling anything to the rest of the world, okay. So there are ways to initiate, there are ways to incentivize, there are ways to stimulate money to move in certain directions, okay. You need people that will understand that. I believe Peter Obi would have understood that properly too, but there's another thing when it comes to experience with regards to politics, right? There's politics in all of this. If you understand the economics of it on paper, Lasson, or just in your own business, it's not enough. You need to understand the politics of it. You don't want to go there and be crying that people are just doing all the wrong things. That one won't work. Why? Because it's power involved, and power is taken, it's not given. Okay, so no one's just going to hand it over to you, but if they find enough reasons, if they find enough motivation, right, there are ways that they can absolutely stimulate economy in the right direction. in the right direction in terms of it's beneficial for them as well. If it's not beneficial for them in the short to mid-term, or the third one here is called industrial policy. Industrial policy, what's the rest of it? For domestic manufacturing. What did I just say? If Nigeria is not selling to the rest of the world, it's a global village. It's not enough to be ordering things. It's not enough to say, let's just feed ourselves. No, you are exposed to the rest of the world economy. You need to be selling to the rest of the world. There's no politician that's going to come and save you if you're not selling to the rest of the world. Okay? We need more people that can be entrepreneurs. A healthy economy will need workers too. Everything and the healthy size of middle class, right? But we need more producers in Nigeria than we need consumers. Okay, Nigeria. I heard somebody was telling me that Nigeria consumed the most champagne, one of the biggest consumers of champagne in the world. I'm like, damn, So these are some of the things. So I appreciate seeing it in his speech and reiterating it, but it's a matter of delivering on it now, right? Because we can't really trust any of those guys, right? And Junior and Sokwe, it is pity that this old man is the best you can come with. Also, he's stolen the mandate. I hear you. Yeah, this is the best that Nigeria came up with, precisely. So it is what it is. So we have to work with what we got, and that's some of the intricate parts of power. Knowing how to work with what you have, right? You remember that parables of the talent, right? There's that one guy that's complaining that he doesn't have enough, right? It's not good enough. If you notice some things about people who perpetuate victimhoods, nothing is ever good enough for them, So, and there's usually more than enough reasons for them to feel that way. Like it's legit, it's valid, right? But at some point, you're going to have to snatch yourself out of that. As a nation, as a people, as an individual, say, hey, it's not my fault, but I'm still going to hold myself responsible, accountable for the results that I'm generating, and particularly changing the direction of things. Very, very important. Number 4th highlight that I got from his inaugural speech is this: electricity accessibility and affordability, right? Electricity affordability, accessibility, this is key. It is useless if all you have is a big ass generator in your own estate. You're shooting yourself on the legs. Sure, you can watch all the TV shows, all the BBN you want, but you need electricity to be available at a larger scale. Okay, you need it to be scalable. You need it to be available at a larger scale, and I think that's something that they've been struggling with, particularly with all the policies around it as well. Okay, hit that like button, I beg. Hit that like button. Okay, electricity accessibility and affordability. That's the fourth highlight. Okay, the 5th highlight from his speech. Okay, again, these are just promises at this point. Okay, somebody was making an argument that it wasn't quite inspirational. I was like, I don't know. Nigeria's spirit is just in a place right now that it's very hard to trust anything. In fact, the best thing you can trust right now is to align yourself with a politician, so maybe hopefully you can steal some money at some point. It's sad, but it's the reality, right? Anyway, the 5th one is job creation and prosperity bill. So some kind of bill that he's trying to pass, I'm guessing, at the House of Assembly. Good negotiation skills. Fighting the House of Assembly is not going to work by itself. It needs to be a holistic negotiation skills, meaning there will be time you fight, there will be time that you don't fight. There are times you pull back, there are times you finesse, there are times that you speak their language, there are times, quote unquote, you pander. If that's what that looks like to you, but that's part of power, knowing the right times to do that so that you can actually accomplish what you're up there to do, right? Okay, so going up there to speak your own version of the truth, or your own isolated, filtered version of the truth, it won't work. We're dealing with 200 million people, majority of whom are living under, $2 per day. Okay, if they have to survive, they will pick surviving first over quote unquote doing the right thing. Okay, that's just the reality. Just letting you know. So come not to deceive ourselves. Agricultural development, you know, I think, was it with my wife? I was talking with my wife yesterday about the agricultural things that, you know, somebody can go back and just start a farm. I said, starting a farm is not, it's not as, I don't know if you're realizing, because some of us will speak like it's 25 years ago when we left Nigeria, right? Like, oh, farming, just go farming and feed yourself. It's not that simple. You're competing with the rest of the world, your society, right? So whatever farming you're doing that is not mechanized, right? That is not machines, tools that you can use to produce a little bit faster is useless. Okay, you can pluck a little tomato here and there and add it and supplement your food, but in terms of being a producer in society, even for your own family, you can't compete. It will be cheaper in the market, right? And the market one is very expensive. There's inflation, and yours is still more expensive when you consider the amount of energy, consider the amount of resources, time, and money that goes into that. You might as well go and work at the factory at the corner and come home with your little paycheck that they pay you every 5 months after they seize your paycheck for 5 months. So you need the help of credible governments at the end of the day, right? You need, you don't want to buy a machine with your last card for the farm, and then the machine breaks down in the middle of the wood, in the middle of the village, and you can't get somebody out there to come and help you. You can't maintain it. You don't know how to fix these things, right? Bottom line is that you don't live in a cave. You live with the rest of the world. You need to be able to compete with the rest of the world. Even when it comes to romantic relationship stuff, we're talking all the time. That's why people's wives are being taken away from them by the government or by another man. Because you're always competing. I'm not trying to pressurize you. I'm trying to get you to become your best self, right? So, but you need good environment is my point, right? So the fact that he's added this to this agenda, agricultural development, is a big deal, because you need farmers that can produce at scale, not just somebody cultivating a garden in their backyard. That's cute. That's not good enough, okay? Not at the level you're looking to use agriculture to supplement the productivity of the nation. Very, very important. This is impressive. I still see 37 people listening to this. This is good. I like that, right? Because we've left the other side of things, right? Number 7, I came up with 10 out of this. Came up with 10. Infrastructural development, road networks, all of that, everything. Without those things, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to produce, to compete with the rest of the world. Okay, so I really love that I'm seeing that in there. And the quote from his speech says, the president highlights the continuation of efforts initiated by the Buhari administration in infrastructure development. So Buhari, did it not open? I don't think they opened it. I think they named a Niger bridge after him or something like that. So continuation of that. Continuation is a good thing if there's actually something to continue, with a focus on national networks of road, rail, and ports. Okay, ports. All right, very, very important. He prioritizes progress in improving infrastructure to enhance connectivity and facilitate economic growth. Yes, facilitating economic growth. I like that. Okay, I know today some people would have loved to hear him, talk, be inspirational, Obama level, inspirational. Everything is going to be fine. In the next 1 year, we're going to reform this. I think there's enough here. We just need people that can execute. That's what we need. All right, monetary policy reform. Let me see what this is about. So TINUBU advocates for a thorough house cleaning of monetary policy, including the need for a unified exchange rate, the black market issue. He plans to reduce interest rates to stimulate investment and consumer purchasing, leading to sustainable economic growth. Sounds cute. We'll see. Number 9, we have foreign policy objectives. Foreign policy objective. Okay, let's see what this is about. Foreign policy objective. The president emphasizes the importance of peace and stability in the West African sub-region, security, right? And the African continent. He pledges to work with regional bodies such as ECOWAS, the AU, and international partners to resolve conflicts and pursue collective prosperity. All right, that's a good one. You know, every economy effort without proper security in place, yeah, it won't work. People need to feel safe to do business, to move about, to go to work, to be more productive. People need that. If they can't feel safe, yeah, could it work? All right, number 10, last but not least, commitment to the Nigerian people. TINUBU reaffirms his commitment to the Nigerian people just like Buhari did. Promising to, I'm not watering it down, I'm just saying, okay? Promising to govern impartially according to the Constitution and the rule of law, okay? He reassures citizens that his administration will prioritize security, economic growth, job creation, and social welfare, working towards a more perfect nation and democracy. All right, so here are my thoughts around this. I think it's cool, you know. What I'm going to tell you is that there are two sides I'm noticing. I've seen a lot of conversation over the course of the day. Lots and lots of conversation throughout the course of the day. Let me go here. Let me show you what's going on here on my Instagram page. And I'll tell you what I think about some of these opinions. And I think all opinions about what happened in the last few months with Nigeria is valid. In the last 6 months, okay? Okay, yes, TINUBU unfortunately has alleged history of being a drug lord, okay? Blah, blah, blah. He never really went to University of Chicago. All these crazy things, all right? But he became your president, okay? Is that a problem? Yes. Whose problem? Our problem, okay? We have to now start using our in our language. Why? It's not just because it sounds cute. It's because you need more people doing that, because it's about taking ownership of the direction of your reality, okay? Because if you don't, the likes of this guy FEYI, they will continue to manipulate our people. There's more than enough of them, okay? The likes of TINUBU, your opinion, okay? They will continue to control the narrative, okay? I hate to burst your bubble. God does not interfere in something that's already a fair game. In love and war, all is fair, okay? It just think about it. It just doesn't make any sense. Okay? Why would he want to interfere in that, right? He has children on all sides of the coin. It doesn't make any sense. What are you trying to tell me? Are you trying to tell me that everybody on the other side of the coin are not children of God? Could make sense, right? So it doesn't make sense. Maybe it doesn't make carnal sense. I'll take that in from you. If you say, you know what, you're not a child of God, it doesn't make carnal sense. Okay, I'll take that from you. But precisely carnal sense, okay, it doesn't make sense, okay? And if you are not participating the way you're supposed to participate, starting from little things, right, then you can expect that the likes of the TINUBU, the FEYIs, fake prophets of God, they will continue to influence the people. The power is still in the hands of the people. It's just in how well are you able to manipulate the people, okay? It's how well you're able to manipulate the people, okay? That's what it comes down to. Let me see. AB says, please recap. What did FEYI do? Story head. That story is long. Oh, hey, that story is long. But she is facing allegations right now of sexual assaults and sexual allegations and stuff like that. And part of the tools he used was prophecies. Okay, and he was prophesying in January that he had a lot of prophecies that were just all weird and false at best. So that's the correlation there. Okay, but you will have, if you don't take these things into your own hand, we will, as a nation, will continue to struggle. I'm looking at Aisha here, Aisha Yusufu. I like Aisha Yusufu. I follow her because I think she's interesting. Okay, I think she's interesting. I think we need the likes of Aisha Yusuf. Part of our work that she did is the reason why the story has changed forever in Nigeria politics. So I applaud her for that. Okay, but what did she say? Peter Gregory Obi is my president. Okay, good for her. Okay, but the more people we have saying this, the more people will take advantage of Una. Okay, because the only thing you are telling the powers that be is that you're caught up in your emotions, and that's essentially your weak point. That's how they get you. Okay, I'm not saying you have to be able to say this is my president. It doesn't matter. He's the president. It's inaugurated, right? But when you're so, as a nation, not as an individual, but as a nation, the more people are caught up in their emotions with not being able to see things as they are and work with it, right? The more the powers that be, the FEYIs, the TINUBUs, the powers that be, whoever they are, the more they take advantage of that, because that's vulnerability right there. Okay, they just have to speak your language. They just have to pander to you. That's all they have to do, and they get you like that. But they will still get their way. Okay, because at the end of the day, that kind of thing, that's the reality that you have to deal with. At least you have to buy dollar, indirectly or directly, right? So I don't think she's wrong. I think the more people follow her with this type of mindset, the worse it's gonna get before it becomes, until something breaks, until Nigeria hits rock bottom, which it does feel like it's at rock bottom, which is why those numbers look that way, right? Which is like TINUBU almost lost, right? I think it's rock bottom. That's why it looks that way, right? And I think they know that. But when you caught up in your emotions, they'll tell you go to court. Why they say go to court? Go to court now, right? They tell you go to court, right? But they know what they're doing, and you should know what you're doing too, and not be so caught up in your emotions, right? All right, fuel subsidies is gone. We know that. This is the man that tried to come on stage with it. Let me see. All right, let's see. All right, so look at this. Let me play this.
And go back to my cows and sheep, which are much easier to control than fellow Nigerians.
He said he's going back to his cows and sheep. His cows and sheep because they are much more easier to control than fellow Nigerians. At least he said fellow Nigeria. So as he did, I beg branch man united make you carry Maguire follow body. He non saw. Let me see. Yeah, these are the presidents you elected. That's what it was. Embrace it, work with it. If you don't think it's good, change it. Right? Let's look at this one. This is an interesting one here on Gossip Mill TV. Nigeria's 2023 elections confirm that number one, activists are not good leaders. Do I need to expatiate on that? Do I need to expatiate on that? I don't think I need to expatiate on that, right? Fashionable Geek says, as you enter the throne, sir, you need a strong team because Nigeria is a web of confusion. Absolutely. Absolutely. And from what I heard, because I wasn't in Lagos when it was ruling, from what I heard, that's one of the things that TINUBU is good at, assembling good teams. Hopefully. Right? When everybody's concerned about, oh, that man says he's about to buy, he's about to delete, we're afraid of a Shetima. Like, yeah, why are you afraid? This is how they get you. They know you're going to be operating from fear. Right? So you can start from having some faith, but also learn how these things work from a power and political standpoint. activists, absolutely, in my opinion, are terrible leaders. Why? Because they tend to get stuck on right and wrong. They're stuck on right and wrong. The way they see the world is right and wrong. Truth. That's how they see a world that's all types of shades of gray. It's never black and white. Right? And it literally affects how they move, how they operate, how they relate with everything. Right? And in this case, in politics, if that's how you see things, you're going to be a terrible negotiator. Gonna work. Okay? It's not gonna work. So even if you won by way of popularity votes, you will face trouble when you get to House of Assembly. Yep. Number two here says your prayers don't work. Number two, Nigeria. Okay, what they're saying right now, Nigeria's 2023 elections confirm that. Number two, your prayers don't work. I can't say that, but they're trying to make a point. Okay, I can't say your prayers don't work because your prayers can. God's time is the best, right? You can work now, or you can work on your last day at 99.9 years old. It still worked, right? So I can't say your prayer doesn't work, but they're trying to make a point. I'm not sure. Maybe they're referring to Bishop FEYI or not. Right? Number three, Nigeria is not a real country. That's false. Nigeria is absolutely a real country. You're lying to yourself. You're caught up in your emotions in making this list. Again, getting caught up in your emotions does not work. You're supposed to be mastering emotions, not getting caught up in your emotions and trying to act like you don't have emotions. Shout out to Deepo. Why are you being emotional? You're being biased. Bro, you're the one that's emotional. Okay? Emotional intelligence is emotions are nobody's mate. If you're saying Nigeria is not a real country, when on paper, across from one end of the world to the other is a sovereign country, what do you want us to do with that information? Because it's already false on arrival. Right? Number four, these are the lessons. This is what 2023 elections confirmed, right? Number four, USA, UK, EU are not against drug dealers. They just want a share. That's false too. They are against drug dealers, but there are about 100,000 other factors and variables. One of the major variables here is that they don't interfere on how you choose your leaders. Okay? If you don't know how to choose your own leaders, it's called Oyo. As long as you stay safe and don't interrupt our own vested interest, don't become crazy and like you're about to blow up everything. That part, if that's what you mean by they're not against drug dealers, no. If you there's a due process. If you're a drug dealer and you get caught, they'll due process. You go to jail, you come out, they'll give you. The society will judge you, but you can still win. That's what makes them USA, UK, and EU. All right, they don't just poke nose into business that's not theirs unless there's vested interest. By the way, they will get in your business even if it's against the law. If you become dangerous for them, just in case you didn't know that, let me just let you know. Okay, for anybody who wants to move mad. Okay, number five. Number five. Things that 2023 elections confirmed. Okay, karma and your God does not exist. That's false. Okay, but the karma part, what do you mean by karma? What do you mean by karma? How exactly are you measuring karma? Who did who to what and who did what to who, right? And how many generations are we measuring between? Is it fourth generation, or is it the one you did or your father did that you're looking for karma? Exactly, what's the point of reference? What are you measuring karma with here? Because I'm guessing you're just measuring with just this one election event. Yeah, that's not enough to say karma doesn't exist. You need to be able to see. You have to be Oloju Kara, like you have to be able to see everything. Right? See beyond just your nose. That means you have to farabale. You have to see beyond your nose to be able to say karma doesn't exist. But you can't even calm down. You are making statements like Nigeria is not a real country. You are saying things like God does not exist. To who? Which God? Out of Allah, I be Jesus. Which one? There's confusion in all of this. Okay, it's confusion. So, but this is, you have to give them room to learn. This is what they learn from this whole thing. That's fine. Okay. Number one, activists are not good leaders. It depends on what they're leading. That's number one. In terms of becoming the president of a nation, they're not capable because they have too many enemies, because they're stuck on right and wrong, and they're usually wrong, by the way. Two, your prayers don't work. That's false. You don't. What do you mean? Which prayer, right? Were you expecting God to interfere in this matter? No. You have the full agency to decide who you want to vote for, and you get to count it and rig it how you deem fit as a nation. Okay, number three, Nigeria is not a real country. Completely false. 4, USA, UK, EU are not against drug dealers. They just want a share. False, but kind of true. Okay, it depends on what you mean. What do you mean? Number 5, karma and your God does not exist. That's false. Let me see some of these comments on this post. Somebody said, God really exists. God really exists. That God is silent on this doesn't mean he doesn't exist. Maybe it's not just time for him to act. It's never going to be time for God to act. God bless Nigeria. You need to act yourself, okay? Remember, his ways are not the ways of man. There we go, the carnal thing. He will definitely act when the time is right. Yeah, 4th generation from now. God's time is the best. So predictable. In conclusion, just because things aren't going the way we want it to go doesn't mean God does not exist. I agree with that, right? It means it's not just time for him to act. Okay, so here's my take on this. I wouldn't argue with all 5 points unless I'm creating content and we're making money from it. Also by helping other people get in between all the ideas, right? So, but no, we don't argue with some of those points. It doesn't make any sense, right? Alaja Sokwe, more this election confirmed to me, say, number 1, pursue your hustle, follow them, drag them. Sometimes the violence collects by force. I agree. 2, the good guy doesn't always win. What do you mean by the good guy? Do you mean good guy as in like, I try to do the right thing? What about competence? As in knowing how to, right? Anyway, good guy they collect. Good guy, BT Bawo. Go and sit down. 3, in Nigeria, anything is possible if you did think you done already they sup. I agree. I've seen this happen over and over again. Sometimes I just come up with an idea, like I think I'm the first one with the idea, like nope. There's a good chance somebody else is already thinking it. 4, don't get too emotional with Nigerian politics. Don't get too emotional with Nigeria politics. Listen, these are the issues. Speaking of emotional reaction, somebody said my prayers work and my God do exist. Now you sabi who you they worship. It's true. But when you speak about people's God, put some respect on their name. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. I just wanted to make sure I cover this topic today because again, it's trending and it's a big deal. And let me see here. Yeah, it's a big deal. And you should pay attention beyond your emotions. It's okay to have emotions. It's okay to feel the way you feel. You're a normal human being like the rest of us. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Thank you, AB. Right? It's okay. All right. But we got to take it a little bit, one step further. We have to go a little bit step further. Okay. Which is why is it that I have these emotions? Okay. Why do I feel the way I feel? Right? It's a completely terrible and useless strategy to say I don't feel, because you don't exist in that way. you're lying at best. You do feel like the rest of us. Okay. Everything starts with, why do I feel the way I feel? That's self-awareness. That's self-intelligence. Okay. Then after that, people react to me a certain way. As an individual, they tend to react to me. Let me pay attention to that. It doesn't mean they're wrong or I'm right. It just means they react a certain way. Okay. Thirdly, you need to understand how the society at large works. Okay. God created the world. The way we think he interferes, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense to interfere. It's like about 7 billion plus 8 billion of us here, right? We're all God's children. You need to learn how to play the game. If not, if you don't know how to play the game, you just collect.
Sorry.
It's all a game. It doesn't mean you play games with people's mind or anything like that. You just learn that there's principles that guide this whole thing, and you learn how to work it in your favor, in the favor of your loved ones. Okay? There's always power at play. Okay? You're dealing with the society. There are things you have to pay attention to. Beyond just how you feel. How you feel is valid. No question about that. But beyond just how you feel, there are things you need to pay attention to. Okay? And they're usually in the blind spots. They're not the obvious thing. Like, the devil's not going to fall out of the skies in dark clothes and say, here I am, I'm here to take over. No. In that way, it'll be easy for you to catch him. Right? If it's a him or her or them. I don't know. Right? But it's usually coming from a blind spot. And you're often your own worst enemy. More often than you would like to admit. So we got to pay attention. Okay? All right? So that's all I have for you today. On your way out, do me a favor, hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Hopefully you've been enlightened, educated. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.